I'm sure you saw the whole curb incident from
Yeah.
yesterday.
God, this just ridiculous.
It's so like when I saw that, I was really like, why am I wasting my time watching this? Like, I could be reading a book, I could be walking my dog. Like, I really am wasting my time this year watching this.
I think I fell asleep during it.
Yeah, it was rough. All right, we got quite a few people in here, and I assume
Oh,
others will listen to it on 2x. Let me see.
are we
All
live?
right, yeah, yeah, we will. Well, I told you we were going live.
Oh, my
No, I was like,
bad.
hey, I'm gonna start it, and then I was like, hey, well, I'm waiting, and I'll ask about the curb situation. Sorry,
Oh, okay.
sorry about that. Do you want to start with what you kind of just told me off air?
Yeah,
I think it sums up our opinions on this.
yeah. This slate sucks. There's just so much chalk with place differential. There not being a ton of dominator points out there. Everybody's gonna land on the same build. So
Mhm.
you're either you're either looking like an idiot landing on the same builds, or you're looking like an idiot fading it, and then the chalk hits. It's kind of like Road America, where Stenhouse was chalk in that race, and he was garbage all day. Like, I faded him that race, and he was garbage all day, and then he didn't pit at the end and finished 12th, and you know, I got my ass kicked because
Mhm.
it's I just don't find it very fun to build lineups today. It's like, I think they did a decent job with pricing the top three guys, but like, what the hell are you doing putting Reddick, Briscoe, DiBenedetto all under 8K? Like, this is just stupid.
Yeah, it's the builds are so similar. Oddly enough, you bring up Road America. That's the first real time that I've ever just said fuck it. I played the chalk, and I played Eric Amarola instead of Christopher Bell. So I was one position off the optimal there, and we still ended up tying for like 400. Like, there's huge gaps of people just playing the same lineups, and I think this has a chance of hitting that even more so because I don't think the Roval is going to get too crazy today. And as you just noted, like, you have De Benedetto underpriced, Reddick underpriced, and then I would even argue that like A. Jomininger is underpriced. Like, he's too. We're playing A. Jomininger today, right? Like, we're building lineups with 5 different drivers. Like, I'm playing A. Jomininger. Like, if he blows a transmission or whatever, so be it. I'm not going to get stupid and not play A. Jomininger. Um, and I think a lot of lineups are ending up on Reddick and the guys we kind of just talked about. I think the only place to either get different or you know slightly pivot off of is do you go Larson and Elliott together? Do you just go one of those guys? Do you go one of the 10K guys and then another 9K guy that isn't really being talked about? Maybe like Bowman or Kyle Busch, things of that nature. But I mean, all these lineups are going to be copied. Like, if you're building 150 lineups today, like, you can cover a lot of I don't want to say all of them because you can't ever cover all the roads, but you can cover most of the roads today.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think it's going to come down to how you build up top. On what the optimal actually comes down to. Do you take two of those guys? Do you take all three? I mean, you can easily take all three today, and it's not even, like I said, it's fucking dumb. But my optimal, according to my projections, actually has Elliott and Larson over Allmendinger. Um, like you said, I think Allmendinger's like the no-brainer play.
Mhm.
So if I was gonna pivot, I'd do that. Go with Larson and Elliott. But then there's like the whole, is anybody going to be really going 100% with the playoffs on the line? Like, the only guy locked in is Hamlin. Larson could fall out if he wrecks. I mean, I hate the slate. I hate the narratives of playoffs, and you know, I'm ready to get to Texas or whatever race is next.
go to a real racetrack.
Yeah.
My optimal had A. Jobninger, Larson, and Elliott together.
Oh, really?
So that's kind of where I'm coming from because I think the, the points that A. Jobninger gives you is just, I think it's enough there to just lock him in. Because I think he's going to be running inside the top 8 pretty quickly.
Yeah. I mean, he's just like, he's so good. Like the colored car isn't bad. My only argument I could make against Allmendinger is that he doesn't get the dominator points. Like if he's not up there leading, he's not going to get many fastest laps. So my rule has always been like don't overpay for place differential. But that kind of gets thrown out the window when it's AJ Allmendinger starting 33rd at Charlotte Roval. But yeah. So sorry, I'm reading that comment.
No, go ahead. Which one?
Let's talk about
Cluster.
Bubba last week. So who do you have winning this race? You think Chase is going to run away with it, or?
I got Chase winning the race. I got Larson finishing second. I think I got AJ Allmendinger finishing like 7th or 8th.
That's kind of been where he's at, at road courses this year in that car. It's about a 7th place. Obviously, he won at Indy, but Indy was, I mean, literally, I'm not even.
The guys who were going to win that race literally wrecked. So
yeah, I'm not even looking at Indy data. I don't know about you, but like I completely threw it out the window, like not even touching it.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
Yeah, and I don't know if you listened to Stacking Denny's this week, but we kind of realized that CODA data is somewhat usable, like somewhat salvageable this year. Just when we finally dug into it more, because I kind of just blew it off as I hated that race, and it was in the rain. There was nothing good, but really like the guys that were fast, there was only a few guys where they're that were unexpectedly slow. So I actually started looking a little bit more into CODA data this week, along with the rest of the road courses. But so you don't think we'll see like Daytona road course where that turned into a shit show in the second half?
I mean, I believe stuff will turn into a joke at some point. I just don't think it's going to be enough to really kill off the chalk in this race. Like 1 or 2 chalk plays might bust, but I find it hard to believe that we're going to have like literally all 8 or 9 chalk plays like run into trouble. That's why I find it hard to believe that really pivoting too extremely. Like normally I'm the GPP guy and I love making stupid lineups, but I think at max I might pivot at like 2 positions in a line. Like it's hard for me to imagine like 3 not off the wall, but lower own plays are going to work their way into the optimal unless things just really get wild. And I did listen to you guys talking about the CODA data. I don't see it personally. I can't do it. I don't.
Yeah.
I respectfully disagree on that.
I think that's all good. We need people disagreeing more.
Pierce and some of the other guys were talking that maybe we have too much data. Like maybe we're looking for like too much data. Like that's why in my video this week I kind of just said like, look, we know who's going to run well at road courses. Like it's not like this stuff is a real secret. Like, and maybe it's because all the road courses this year has, other than Watkins Glen, have ran into trouble at some point. Like Sonoma was a wreck fest. Daytona road course, the yellow, yada yada yada. Like every race ran into something this year. Changed the out course, and so, and I'm not saying I'm ignoring the data, but if I just project guys to finish where they should instead of being like, well, in this run, this guy took tires here, or this guy made up ground. Like if I just play the guys that I think are going to do well, I think I'll just be fine. Like I really don't want to overthink it a ton this week.
Yeah, it's we know who's good at it's kind of like like the short flats. Like we know who's good at these tracks. There's no reason to really overthink it. And I agree with you that there's way too much data. Like I've done it this year multiple times where I get so deep looking into it. Like when I'm finally done looking at the data, I'm like, what the heck? Like what rabbit hole? How did I get that far down? Like it's like when you get deep into conspiracy theories, like then you get out and you're like what the hell? But could you see today running a line of like pure place differential? So like Reddick, Briscoe, DiBenedetto, Priest, Allmendinger, all in the line?
I think you need one of Elliott or Larson. But I really think it's like that. I don't know what to do with Reddick and DiBenedetto because I have so many lines projected for like dead even ties across the board. Like the difference between projections are so slim um, that I don't know how many place differential guys you necessarily need starting from like 29th on back. So that's Reddick, DiBenedetto, and Allmendinger because Briscoe's underpriced, and if Briscoe actually shows up, he'll be a top 10 car. You have Suarez, who I think I might be higher on than other people just because he's ran into literally transmission issues in like 4 of the 5 road course races this year. I forgot what number it is right now. But I think Suarez is a place differential play that rivals Tyler Reddick and DiBenedetto due to the fact that actually when Suarez has managed to finish races this year outside of mechanical issues, he's been pretty stellar, and he can give you 10 place differential points. And so I'm hesitant on just playing a ton of Reddick, DiBenedetto, and Allmendinger in each line. Like I feel like you need one of Reddick or DiBenedetto today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Suarez was in my video. I said I like that pivot off of that shot. Like I do think there's room here today. Like obviously there's room to with scores or like the total points that today are going to be super close. Like these tournaments are going to be decided not
literally
by
by fast laps. Like
exactly.
it's going to be like 0.15, like just by how everything ends up adding up. It's going to be extremely tight.
Yeah. So if you can like you said, pivot off of DiBenedetto down to Suarez, that not only gives you some leverage there to get off. Like DiBenedetto is probably gonna be like what 35% owned. Suarez is probably gonna come in at 15. Like it's similar to it reminds me of super speedways last week. Like it doesn't take much to get off the chalk and with the same upside basically. Pull up that comment about who to prioritize under 8K because that's a good one.
I think you prioritize Briscoe.
I'm right there with you because he has the biggest upside to finish top 5.
He has the biggest upside and he's cheaper.
And he's going to be lower owned than those other two.
Is he?
Oh yeah.
Really? Are people not playing? Are people not playing him?
He's not going to be like under owned, but he's not going to get the share that DiBenedetto and Reddick get.
Interesting. I figured he'd be higher owned just because if people are paying up for a lot of guys, like even like Blaney and the more expensive dudes, I feel like he should be higher owned than Reddick or DiBenedetto.
I think people are going to gravitate toward that place differential, and we've seen it time after time this year. People like just don't trust Briscoe. I think it's this whole Stuart Haas thing. They don't realize how good Chase Briscoe is on road courses. Like the guy has what? Like he's finished top 6 this year, and pulling up my chart real quick.
The man was going to win Indy. Like he was going to win Indianapolis this year.
6th at Coda, 6th at Road America, 9th at Watkins Glen. Could have won Indy. Yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, like if I'm only building 10 lineups today, which is probably what I'm going to end up doing, Briscoe's going to be on every single one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm jumping around here a bit, but like, do you have a ton of Chastain today? Because I think that play could be the under-owned chalk. With how fast Chastain's been on road courses this year, and then his price, I could see him being under-owned today.
It's interesting that you bring that up because I was actually going to ask you about Kyle Busch today. And I'm not deflecting your question, but I figured the pivot in that range would end up being Kyle Busch instead of Chastain. I mean, Kyle's 9.9, Chastain's 9.3, but if you're pivoting in the 9K range, it really doesn't matter with that $600 difference. I think I prefer Kyle Busch over Chastain today. I have Kyle projected for about 6 points more than Chastain.
Interesting.
So now that we're kind of talking about pivots, this is Kyle Busch is somebody I wanted to talk about because I don't think anybody's going to play him because they just think he's absolutely terrible at these ROVALs, and I think that's a bit blown out of proportion because he's been literally all the crazy stuff that has happened in each of these races. It's happening like Kyle Busch is involved. Like Kyle Busch isn't a bad road course racer. This is literally just bad luck at Daytona and the Charlotte Roval. Like it's difficult to be this bad at a track, much less for Kyle Busch. Like bad for Kyle Busch is running like 13th. This is absolutely like disgustingly horrible of his recent races at these races.
Yeah, and if you remember, I think it was the Daytona Road Course last year. It might have been here at Charlotte. He had the best car. He was leading the race. Flat spotted his tires, had to come in. Then he wrecked. And I agree with you. Like, and I've mentioned it several times this week. Like, if you look at the Rovals, if you just separate the Rovals, Kyle Busch doesn't have a finish better than 30th. And that, like you said, that's going to get people off of him. But he's one of the best road course racers. Like, playoffs are on the line. My only I don't. The only thing that I wonder about with Kyle Busch at Rovals is if he drives too aggressively, and that's why he's having all these mechanical issues. Is just because he's pushing his car too much because you can at these tracks. That's my only concern, but I 100% agree with you. I love that pivot. Especially, I mean, do you pivot off of like Allmendinger, Elliott, or Larson, or do you think you combine them?
So I'm trying to decide what I want to do because I'm either wanting to go. I don't know. I think I'm going to go Larson over Elliott just due to the price discount and how fast Larson has been this year. But
He's also
thinking,
really good at this track specifically.
Yeah. So my kind of build that I'm wanting to go with is more of a Larson, Allmendinger, possibly Kyle Busch, possibly Suarez. That's kind of the idea that's been floating around me the last couple hours. I haven't decided what else to do there. I'll probably use Briscoe. So I don't know if I'll like the last guy there. That's like Kyle Busch makes a lot of sense to me today. With all this chalk, like you can still build an extremely chalky line and get a discount on Kyle Busch, and he could easily win this race. Like I went to bed last night thinking that Kyle Busch or Suarez is going to win the GPP today, and it's hard for me to not play that without when I have a thought like that.
Yeah, and he's starting ninth. Like there's place differential there. Kyle Busch can win this race. He won the Clash at the Daytona Road Course this year. I think was it Elliott and Blaney that took each other out.
Yeah.
But still, he was running third before that. I'm right there with you with Kyle Busch for sure. Do you have any Hamlin?
No.
You think about Hamlin at all?
No interest. I got Hamlin projected for 42.35 points today.
Yeah, I mean that's just my. If I wish I could look at my total history of lineups ever made and do a percentage of each driver, because I guarantee Denny Hamlin would be like less than 1%, just because I don't like him. Plus, starting on the pole at a road course, like I said, like this reminds me so much of a super speedway. Like, don't play a pole sitter. Watch Hamlin go out and lead half this thing and win it.
Yeah, it's a super speedway in a sense that you need to prioritize place differential, and then there's only let's count the plays together that are like actually plays that you could use and it wouldn't just kill your day. So you have Elliott. How many is this? So you have Elliott, Busch, Larson, possibly Kurt Busch, Buescher, Jones, Stenhouse, Briscoe, Suarez, LaJoie, Chastain, Reddick, DiBenedetto, Preece, and A.J. Allmendinger. That's 15 drivers. Like I think that's what the pool is, and so the pool is so condensed that like Hamlin isn't even in play for me. Same thing with Keselowski. Same thing with Logano. I don't think Bell is really worth looking at. I have him for 42.45 points, but like I'm not going to go there. not going to Truex, not going to Blaney, not going to Harvick. And so, like, I think this is a race where, and some people may argue with it or may argue with me just crossing guys out, but this is a race where I just cross out a ton of guys. Like, I don't even bother throwing them in the lineups or even considering playing them.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting that you said Buescher. I hate that price. I hate 69 starting 16th.
I got Buescher with 39 points today.
He's probably like third on your pivot list though in that range, ain't he? Because if you're getting off Reddick and go, your option one would be Briscoe, option two would be Suarez. Hell, I'd even put McDowell over Buescher. I like Buescher, but I think he's about an 18th place car today.
Yeah, I think. Let's see. I'm giving him a ceiling of like 10th. That's right. Well, let's see why I gave him that. So let me look at how he's ran this year, because I did all this on yesterday morning. So I may not remember exactly why I gave somebody a certain finishing. So let's look here. Let's see. Looking at his race rating, it's pretty much under green. He's a top 16 car, 17th, 16th, 15th over the last 3 years. And he's been one guy who's been taking advantage of late race chaos. With a 12th place at Indy, 18th at Road America, 13th at Coda, 11th at Daytona Road Course, 5th at Daytona Road Course last year. In the ROVAL here last year, finished 20th. ROVAL 2019 finished 18th, but we didn't really have a ton of chaos there. And so that's kind of why I gave Buescher a projected finish of around 10th, because I think he's a guy who's going to take advantage of if chaos happens late in the race.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely think he could be a tournament play. I just don't know if I get there. Like I said, with the limited number of lines I'm building, I just don't know if I get there.
Yeah, I don't think I play him in my one line, but he was a guy that I had projected. That's why I include him in the pool. So, like, say if we want to argue and remove him, well, that's 14 guys in the pool that you can play.
What about Joey Hand?
Why is everybody losing their mind over this man? Like, DFS Twitter went insane
all over him because of this. He's running a Stuart Haas car.
Okay, like
it's still the fact that he's this is his first Cup start. Like, I just don't. I think we're well past the days that these road ringers can come in and run with the top guys. Like, I think on a good day he's 25th. I'm just not seeing it, and maybe that could be one thing that I'm completely wrong about today is that kid. But and I haven't done any research into who the hell he even is. But like, there's no way he's not getting a Stuart Haas car. He's getting.
No, I think if the story's correct, it's a Stuart Haas prepared car, but at the same time, like, there's so many. Okay, so this is gonna be like a 5-minute discussion with this dude because we have nothing else to talk about. So, who somebody else brought this up. You know who else is running Roush Yates motors today, strictly from Roush? It's BJ McLeod.
And he has been all year.
Yeah, he has been all year, and so. With this being a Stuart Haas car, it might be prepared by Stuart Haas, but the driver still needs to drive it. If we've looked at how poorly, I know it's intermediate tracks, but if we look at how poorly set up Cole Custer's cars have been as of late, like, it's embarrassing of like how bad those cars have been. And I don't think it's Cole. I think it's what they're giving Cole. At the end of this year, like, they're still saving the better cars that they have for Harvick, because I still believe he has a shot at the championship, and they're going to give him the best equipment because it's the last year. This is a situation where I think, Rick Ware bought a car from Stuart Haas that Stuart Haas probably hasn't used in fucking 9 months, and it's just been sitting in their shop. And then Joey has like no experience here. This is the most difficult track on the NASCAR circuit because it's so janky, and like, this man has never driven a stock car. Like, you brought up to the days are gone where the road ringers can really do anything. That's plain as day if you watch the Truck Series now, if you watch the Xfinity Series now. Like, we have legit road ringers hopping those cars and they're spitting out. They're not fast. Like, you need to be in and out of these cars each and every week to understand how they perform.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he's going to get like 10-12% ownership today, just because a lot of the people in DFS are talking him up. But the ones that I respect the most in this industry are just completely staying away from it, because like I said, like I just don't see it. Like, yeah, I'm with you there. It's probably a junk Stuart Haas car, and that narrative is great for people that that need something to confirmation bias on playing Joey Hand and being smart about it. But yeah, just not. Speaking of that range, though, and I think we got a question about it. The Bubba question there. I think this range is interesting now, because I think I went into this weekend thinking Cole Custer isn't going to be the chalk, and I think he's going to be the chalk, and that kind of concerns me. I figured Priest would be the chalk down here, but everything I'm reading and all the projections I'm looking at are landing on Custer. I think I'd rather play Priest at this point.
I never even considered Custer at all. I have Custer projected for a 21st place finish, 23 points. That's what I saw entering the week, and I kind of left it there. I was even seeing some stuff on Twitter earlier today that people were talking about Custer as well. And what I mentioned about the intermediate tracks doesn't particularly mean anything here, because it is a road course, but he has been off pace, and that has to be concerning. Like, even at a road course where things are a little bit more equalized, personally, I'm not on Cole Custer. The guy that I like, and I'm surprised you aren't on him this week, is I like Stenhouse a lot this week.
If, like I said, if Custer's going to be the chalk down there, I'm with you on Stenhouse.
Yeah, like this is the week where I showed up and I wanted to play Stenhouse. And I'm probably far too high on him, because if you look at his race rate or his running positions in a lot of these races this year, he's been in 20s. And he's another guy who is taking advantage of late race chaos, but you also need to put yourself in a situation where you can even take advantage of that type of stuff. And so this year, 11th, 12th, 22nd, 18th, 16th Daytona Road Course last year, 19th at Watkins Glen this year. I like Stenhouse to work his way in the top 15 at some point in this race.
Yeah, I'm going to keep going back to this, but it reminds me of super speedways. If all the chalk is going to be on Custer, LaJoie, and Priest down there, Stenhouse is not going to be owned. So if you don't want to put all your eggs into one basket in this under 6K range, because these guys aren't very good. They have all of them have upside, but you're not talking about these guys leading the race and going up there and actually competing for a top 10. What you're hoping is that they don't have issues and they just avoid the chaos and hopefully finish in the teens. So when you're in a situation like that, yeah, I'm there with you on Stenhouse. And he hasn't been bad at road courses this year. I mean, 18th at Daytona, 12th at Road America. That was the one where he didn't pit. 19th at Watkins Glen. I don't know what's his record here at Charlotte Roval specifically. Does he have any good runs here?
Let me look. We have a 17th last year, 17th 2019, 37th in 2018.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, just take it for what it is. Stenhouse finishing 16th. All you need is Custer to have a Cole Custer day, Corey LaJoie to have a Corey LaJoie day. You're not playing Bubba down here. I can kind of make an argument for Alfredo, but you're probably not playing Alfredo. Then, Priest. I see. I'm gonna land on Priest before I land on Stenhouse. But if you don't have the cap and you're down there in Custer range, yeah, I think it's a great pivot.
Yeah, I can make a lot of arguments for LaJoie too. That initial optimal lineup that I saw earlier in the week from my stuff with AJ Allmendinger, Larson, and Elliott, it used both Stenhouse and LaJoie. And
Yeah.
I'm still a fan of using those two together.
If you're building, if you're taking top three, like you have to have 2 or 3 in that range. Like I think I don't know what your optimal is, but I can
you can figure it. I mean,
I can figure it
yeah,
out. Yeah.
yeah.
It's Corey LaJoy probably scares me than he should. Like I'm always high on Corey LaJoy. Should I be worried about LaJoy, or am I just overthinking this?
Let's hear the LaJoy argument. So this is my main concern: is he was excellent at the Road America race, and he got ran off the road. I don't remember who it was, but he just got ran off the road and basically got spun out, and he could never recover from that race because it went green pretty much after that. I think we had the end of the stage 3, and he got stuck in traffic, and he was just never able to come back from it. This team has been amazing on the higher horsepower package this year, whether it be at road courses, short tracks. Like this is the place I kind of want to play LaJoy. And so I'm concerned that if I don't play LaJoy, he's going to kill me. At the same time, I don't know. Like I like Stenhouse a lot. I like the arguments for Preece. And I think the lineup I'm going to end up working is only going to have one 5K guy in there. And so I don't know if I'm going to end up on LaJoy, but I am curious about him. Like I think there's a chance LaJoy can drive through the field and finish 18th today, and Stenhouse finishes 17th, and then I end up on the wrong guy.
Where do you think they come in ownership wise?
I have no idea. What is let me see what the optimizers want to use.
Because I think they're both going to be about like 10 to 12%, maybe a little bit higher.
Let's see, this is giving LaJoy around 15th or 15 ownership. Stenhouse is around 13. This is my projections of just using every driver. This is kind of how I gauge ownership of what the optimizer kind of says. But it's given LaJoy 15%. It's given Stenhouse 12%. And I think that's going to be very similar to what he ends up coming in at.
Yeah. Which, like I said, if the chalk down there is going to be Custer, are you going down? You're not going down to Bubba. You're not going down to Alfredo. You're not taking any shit boxes today.
No. Well, I guess I lied. My first initial line played half, and it just stacked like the 8K and 10K guys. But I don't like that. I don't like that build. So, but yeah, I'm not punting or anything like that.
Yeah. Hey, your boy Hal finished 18th at Talladega last week.
Man, he did awesome, man. I cashed. I think like 8 out of my 22 lines cashed. And the ones that didn't cash, I had Allgaier. But I was looking forward to that race, and I can't believe those idiots wrecked in 3. Like, I knew they were gonna wreck. I was like, come on, take out more guys. Don't take out 2 guys. Don't wreck and take out 1 dude or something. And they take out 1 dude.
Yep.
So
that was once again though, like I'm pretty sure we called it on Alfredo being underowned, Custer being underowned. Like, and like again, we talked about Rotodoc and I talked about it on Stack and Denny's this week. People are still fucking stupid. Like, there's no doubt about it. It's absolutely insane to me. Yeah, I keep going back to that. But anyway,
yeah, no, I mean it's crazy, and it's easy to like. We both had good weekends, and that's also kind of why I don't really care about this one, because I already made enough off of the damn truck race to be happy with. But even like I called it, like I knew the race would end right before the end of stage 2. Like I knew that with rain, so I was building lineups, just imagining how people would be with like 3 to go at the end of stage 2.
Yep.
So,
there was a comment up here about Byron That's a couple guys we haven't talked about, Byron and Bowman, and I think that, and Kurt Busch for that matter. Like, I don't know if these pivots are worth it. Like, obviously, if you're putting in 150, like, I think you need the exposure there, but it's hard for me to see Byron or Bowman getting the optimal today. I definitely, like, I don't mind Bowman's price, but I'd rather go Kurt Busch. Kurt Busch is, top 6 road course racer this year. Bowman, I don't like Bowman needs to win. I don't like that. I don't like being in that position, because what he's going to do is gamble to get track position. He's going to, probably drive like an idiot. I mean, yes, it could work out, but the chances of him winning, I don't think are as high as some people might think. And yeah, I don't really like if I'm going to pick someone, I don't like that win or bring it home in pieces mentality, because most of the time it's going to be in pieces.
Yeah, I mean, Byron is bad at road courses in general. Obviously, he has the 8th and 6th place finish here at the ROVAL in recent races here, but like he's legit bad at road courses. And in a situation where he needs to point race, I don't want to touch that. Same thing with Bowman. I mentioned Kurt Busch in that pool of drivers that I kind of listed off, because I do have him I'm giving him 44.9 points today. Give him a finish inside the top 8 with a couple fast laps. But I think Kurt's interesting, because if you build around him, you kind of really have to change your line. Like, you have to give up a lot of the chalk plays, and I'm not comfortable changing that many plays in my line to try and get Kurt in there. So that's kind of why I'm not ending up on any of these 3 drivers.
But you mentioned getting off chalk, and you mentioned earlier about pivoting to Suarez. Does that get you off the chalk too much? Because if you pivot to Suarez, you definitely have enough cap to get up there and grab Kurt.
Do you? I don't even know how much Kurt is right now. He's 87.
So I'm just going off my optimal build according to my projections has Elliott, Larson, Custer, Briscoe, Reddick to Benedetto. You could pivot off of Reddick to Benedetto and hit Kurt Busch and Suarez and have that same line. Or you could, go LaJoy off of Custer, and nope, that still won't get you to Reddick. But oh yeah, it would. And then instead of Briscoe, go to Reddick. So you could end up Elliott, Larson, Reddick, Kurt Busch, LaJoy, and Suarez. Like I think that's basically how I'm going to build. Like, I'm probably going to enter the 20 max or whatever. Like, I'm definitely not playing anywhere near my normal today. But I'm literally probably just going to take my optimal build and just do little pivots like that. I'm going to put my build in, and then I'm going to pivot to Kurt Busch and Suarez, or I'm going to, obviously have some with Allmendinger as well. But I don't like AJ Allmendinger, so if I'm not playing much, I'll probably just, I'm more inclined to just fade him and hope he has issues with how chalky he should be.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of where we differ, because when you were mentioning those lines, or the plays they do, I think that's where we differ, because I like Allmendinger, so I'm playing Allmendinger for sure, and so I probably wouldn't be able to do the Kurt Busch and Suarez together. Like, I'd probably just play Suarez by myself or by himself, just because I think Allmendinger is the most likely to be optimal, or top 3 most likely to be optimal play, with the other 2 being Larson or Chase Elliott.
That last comment, are we just locking Allmendinger? I'd say you are for sure.
Yeah, and this is where we just kind of disagree, because I'm assuming you want to be overweight, whereas I'm just playing him because I think he's gonna have a good chance to be an optimal.
Cash lines, I'm playing Allmendinger, but tournaments I'm going under. I hate paying up for place differential. So that's definitely where we differ today. Is and it's
well,
like,
I also have Allmendinger getting laps led and fast laps. Like,
see, I'm
he's
not
not
seeing
just
that upside.
okay.
That's definitely where we differ as well.
Mhm.
Like the only reason he's led laps this year on road courses is because of all that shit that happened at Indy.
Mhm.
And he had 5 fast laps, I think, at Road America, but 1 at Coda, 1 at Daytona Road Course. Like, I think at max he gets like 3.
So this is my thoughts on AJ Allmendinger. Everybody in this race is points racing for stages. I think Allmendinger gets the lead out of a stage because he's going to pit before the end of the stage. So I think Allmendinger gets to the lead based on pit strategy because he's racing for the win. He's not racing for points.
That's a good point. And see, that's like talked about things I hate about this race. That's another thing is trying to predict this strategy bullshit.
See, we're too deep in the weeds because I'm like, oh, if situation A happens and situation B happens, AJ Allmendinger would then get in the lead. Like,
yeah. So Allmendinger is plus 140 to lead a lap on Bet Rivers. If you want to do any betting today,
I would totally do that. That's a lot better than what's his name, Joey Hand for a top 20. Like, did you see people doing that? I
he's
thought
like
they're crazy.
plus 350 or so. Like, I would, if he was priced with the shit boxes, I might throw a little bit on it, but I couldn't touch it at plus 350. I can see why people are doing it, like, but I just don't see it happening. But that's just me. Chase Elliott wins this race. JJ, like, how can you bet against the guy? He's unless Larson. I will say I think it's going to be close between Larson and Elliott.
Fantasy wise or win wise, or both?
Both.
Yeah, I think it's going to be as well. I like Larson just due to the 2 place differential points he can give me over Elliott.
Plus a $400 discount.
Yeah, so I like Larson slightly more for DraftKings, but I like them both.
Are people like really overreacting to this Rick Ware news?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like you guys realize BJ McLeod Motorsports is also a Stuart Haas affiliate, and he's a 30th place car. Like, this isn't gonna this might bring Rick Ware out of the depths of hell and into the high 30s, but
the depths of hell. That's funny. Well, it's the same thing yesterday. Like when that the European feller Loris announced that he's going to do some cup racing. I jokingly said that he scammed the Reum brothers to help him start the race team, and people were throwing shit. I'm like, these people aren't just going to show up and be top 15 drivers, top 15 cars. Like,
no.
You know who has identical cars and identical motors? The Truck Series, ARCA, a lot of local short tracks. Like, just because you're running a spec car or whatever still means that some people are going to be off pace just due to the fact that they don't have the R&D research capabilities that other teams have.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I will not be betting Cody Ware to win a race next year.
Yeah, and my God, I just wish Bubba would have won under green, man, because now I can't use my tweet anymore. My tweet was Rick Ware gets a cup win before Bubba, and damn it. Like, oh man.
I like the Bubba shirt though. Rocking that
I have
Bubba
so many
shirt
Bubba
today.
shirts. I give him a lot of shit, but he's good for clicks. Yeah. And I need video views and stuff, so I kind of have to. But I have a ton of Xfinity shirts of his because I like Bubba Wallace. It just, I can't really relate to him anymore, but he was a nice guy, and I'm saying like he died. Like he's a nice feller. And I was a huge fan of him in Xfinity Series because nobody really liked him, nobody cared for him. And, like I got to meet him, he was a really nice guy. So I have a ton of Bubba Wallace stuff. It's just that for views and stuff, I need to not really elevate him a ton. You got to get those ad revenue clicks.
I like how authentic Bubba Wallace is. That's my favorite thing about him. Like there's so many drivers like William Byron, Chase Elliott. They're literally just, you could not tell me that there's a difference between them standing there and a cardboard cutout of them, a picture of them standing there. Like, oh, thanks to my sponsors, had a fast race car today. Like same thing every fucking week. Bubba Wallace actually shows emotion. He's honest. He's truthful. He says what he's thinking. Like, the same with Kyle Larson. Like Kyle Larson's like that. That's why I like Kyle Larson a lot. That's why I like Kyle Busch a lot. It's because they're not these freaking
stick in the mud guys. They got I don't know why people hate Kyle Busch. Like I have no clue in this. Maybe when he was a young guy, but he's the only authentic dude out there who just talks shit about everything wrong.
Yeah. Just like, when the car tomorrow came in and he's like, this car is junk, and everybody hated on him for it. And then like literally 6 months later, all NASCAR fans are like, wow, this car is junk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like the dude isn't wrong, man. Like, or
there's a Joey Hand question.
Let's see where we're at. Oh, play Joey Hand, Phil. Play him. Donate the money. I don't even care anymore.
Please don't. Please don't.
No. Yeah, Hand's a terrible play. I don't know why people are talking him up. But these are the same morons who play 20% Hamlin or whatever the hell he was at and Larson was at last week.
Priest is actually pretty solid on road courses this year. I mean, he has, Road America, he didn't finish well. Watkins Glen, I think he got spun out, but like legitimate top 20 potential starting 31st at $6,000. Like, I love that play.
Yeah, let's talk about Priest kind of more in detail. So, Indy got involved in that wreck. Road America had a mechanical issue pretty early in the race, but outside of that, even with all the chaos happening, 15th at Coda, okay, 9th Daytona road course. But last year, the two ROVAL races last year is what's really pushing me to like him more. The 14th last year and the 21st in 2019 is what I'm liking and what I'm enjoying to see. And then when you look at race rating and where he was, he had a top 15 car at the ROVAL last year and 21st in 2019. Like, that's good to see out of Priest.
Yeah, I'm like I said, and if Custer ends up being the chalk down there, Priest is a great play. I think my projections have him like neck and neck. I mean, and obviously you want the more place differential upside if Custer's going to be the chalk. This is blowing my mind that I think Custer's going to be chalk now, because I think I wrote him up as a tournament play today. Like, the stuff isn't going as I expected.
It never does. Who do you gun to your head? Who do you like more, Benedetto or Reddick more?
Reddick.
Okay. I think that's the same with me. Yeah, it's slightly Reddick.
I think there's more of a chance that Benedetto drives like an idiot. And I'm Reddick there, but all the way.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that. Like, how many drivers are legit just going to race like morons with nothing to lose today?
Right.
Like, that's why I'm telling you, that's why I like A.J. Allmendinger to lead laps, because he's just here to win. He's not going to get distracted by points racing. Like, I imagine either Byron or Alex Bowman and their team just doing something catastrophically stupid that locks them out of like a top 20 finish, and it's just purely self-inflicted.
Yeah, I don't know. You said Byron will be points racing. Like, he needs a win though. Like, he ain't getting in on points.
No.
Yeah.
No, like both those guys are racing. Like, to win. It's go or go home, but I just can't see Byron staying out in front if you have Larson, Elliott, AJ, possibly even Blaney, Hamlin, and Truex behind. Like someone out of that group of 7 drivers is getting around Byron.
Mm-hmm. So that actually brings up, we haven't talked about Truex at all, which I don't think anybody's talking about Truex at all. Is he on your pivot list?
Giving him a 3rd place finish, 7 laps led, 8 fast laps. That's giving him 48.35. I just can't do it at that price or at that projection. I mean, I think that's a good projection for Truex.
I'd agree with that. I think I agree with that. I'm pulling up what I got him for really quick.
Mm-hmm.
Got him I got him at 49.6 points. So
right there. Like right there then, yeah.
Yeah, I'm checking my 9 fastest laps and 7 laps led.
Holy shit, we really
we're right there.
That's funny. Yeah, I can't do it.
Yeah, like we said earlier, if you're pivoting, it probably better go down to Kyle Busch. And I honestly think Truex has lost a little bit on road courses. He used to be, it was him and Elliott, and now I think it's Elliott, Larson, and then Truex is back there with a few other guys. I'm trying to look at guys that we haven't even discussed. Like, what do you think about? So I'm big on Penske today, not DFS wise, but betting wise, and just overall fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
I like Penske. I like the price of Logano today, starting 3rd. If he can go up there and lead 15 laps, that's another pivot in that range off of that chalk that I don't particularly hate. And then Blaney, it's Blaney is Blaney. I don't think you're definitely not playing Kez today. But Blaney's interesting starting 6th. Obviously he lucked into a win here before. I feel like all of his like really good runs at road courses though have been where he was at the right place at the right time and not necessarily on pure speed. I think he's a decent road course racer.
Mm-hmm.
Has absolutely sucked this year. What do you think about Blaney? 1 fastest lap in 5 road course races this year.
I don't see the speed of the car. He's been like 12th in speed almost at every race he's ever raced at. Like Sonoma in 2019, he had the 6th fastest car. But going back, he's like 13th, 12th, 14th on speed. Like even the race that he won, which was ROVAL 2018, he had the 12th fastest car that day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and a lot of his wins have come that way. I know he has like a lot of plate race wins and a lot of close finishes, but a lot of his wins have just been right place at the right time. If anything, the races that he's dominated, he almost always fucks away in some form or fashion.
Mm-hmm. I will say though, one of my favorite bets today is a DraftKings parlay special, all Penske to finish top 10 at 16-1. I really like that.
I think that'd be good. I think that's pretty easily done. I think your biggest concern there would be Keselowski, but I think Keselowski's going to get it done.
Yeah, I really like that bet. Like, and that's honestly where I'm probably just going to run with my bets today. And like I said, build 10, 20 lineups and go on to Texas.
Mm-hmm.
There's a question there about FanDuel. I honestly, I'm not playing FanDuel today, so I don't know if I can give a great answer here.
Yeah,
I don't play cash either.
Yeah, what's going on, Phil? Yeah, I'm not on FanDuel today. FanDuel's even chalkier than DraftKings, and I really don't like playing FanDuel on chalk races. But I didn't even read the question. Let me look. I was just like, oh, I don't like it. I think the furthest up I would use. I would probably still like if I was building lines on FanDuel, I'd probably still have ownership to Larson, Bell, and Elliott. Um, but outside of those guys, I wouldn't use anybody farther up than Chase Briscoe. So like I actually tell you the pool for FanDuel that I have because I do that each week. Um, my pool for FanDuel would be Elliott, Larson, uh, Stenhouse, Briscoe, Suarez, LaJoy, Reddick, DeBenedetto, Allmendinger, and Haley. That's the pool that I wrote down for FanDuel. So those would be the drivers that I would use.
You want to hear what my optimal is according to my projections?
On what? On what
FanDuel.
site? Yeah, sure. Shoot it.
I don't know. I might just throw this one in there just to see how it does. Allmendinger, Truex, Byron, Bell, Harvick.
That's what the hell is that?
I know what the hell. That's what I said. That is what I said.
Dude, there's no way. That's ugly. That's horrible.
Trust me, I'm right there with you.
I was like, okay, Allmendinger is normal, and then it hit Byron and Harvick. And I was like, nah, dude, there's no way. No way, Jose.
Yeah.
No thanks, Tom Hanks. No.
I don't know what I screwed up there, but I think they're off. But that's what they came out with.
That's weird. Yeah, that's
like I said, I'm gonna throw it in the contest just to see how it does, but I can't say that I'm very confident in that one.
Yeah, I wouldn't be either. I mean, AJ Allmendinger for FanDuel should just be 100% play because there's a chance that he's about the only driver that gets over 87 points today on that site. So, yeah, that's crazy. Threw in Harvick.
Pull up that question, Reddick and Briscoe. No. Why are you questioning yourself?
Yeah, that's a situation to where just play him, man. I like Briscoe. I like Reddick. Personally, I believe that Briscoe should be the highest owned driver outside of Allmendinger. But as my friend here is saying, that people don't want to play Briscoe for whatever reason, despite the fact he's a great road course racer. Like the man cannot race at other tracks, but he can whip it through a road course. And I think he has top eight upside today.
Yeah, I'm right there, but I do like I think he comes in at like 20%. I just don't see him getting the ownership that he should. Like he's starting 22nd, has legitimate top 10 speed. And then I love Reddick today as well. Underpriced chalk, but again, top 10 upside starting 29th. You can't.
Yeah, I think I've made the line that I want to run. I'm pretty happy with it, and it has Briscoe and Reddick in it. So I don't think you need to play DeBenedetto and Reddick together. I don't think you need to play Custer. Who else? Even LaJoy. Like I don't think you necessarily need LaJoy. Yeah, I mean. Yeah, don't overthink it this way. And then, so this situation, we kind of talked about it, like, I think it was Road America or something, but I don't do victory laps on Twitter anymore. I think I stopped that like a year and a half ago. But I always get frustrated with chalk weeks, like the following day, because if the chalk hits, everybody's like, join our site. We hit. Look at how we did. But it's like, well, the chalk hit. And then if the chalk busts, and then they say, well, we told you not to play this guy. And then he wrecked out because he blew a tire or something. Like it's a lose-lose situation. Saying to either play the chalk or don't play the chalk, pivot off these guys. I don't really like these in terms of like advertising either.
Yeah, I knew it was going to happen, but when people were taking victory laps on Colin Allmendinger in the Xfinity race yesterday for DFS, starting 14th and not super high priced,
Mm-hmm.
I get why they do it, but as a fellow content creator, as a fellow person in this industry, like I lose so much respect for you because it is the no-brainer play.
Mm-hmm.
You can boast when you have an alternate strategy that works out with Allmendinger. But to use that as your, oh, we kicked ass because we recommended Allmendinger as a pick in Xfinity, get the fuck out of here. Like, no. I need to start doing your rants with you. Because I could go on for
yeah,
shit.
like, dude, I love rants. Like, I got more. And it doesn't even have to be about DFS too. Like, I could play it about everything, so we got plenty of stuff to do.
We could do like a 24-hour stream of talking about shit boxes.
Yeah.
What do you think about Eric Jones?
Can't let me look. I got Eric. I have him for 34 points today. So that's a 13th place finish.
I'm just trying. I'm messing around with lines right now, and I'm trying to get to where I'm not dipping in that 6 or under range. And I know you're higher on Buescher.
So that's hard to do. So what do you? Let's see. If you're not using AJ,
yeah. So I'm doing Elliott Larson, Briscoe, Reddick, Suarez, and that gives me enough for Austin Dillon or Jones. Or if I want to dip down to the 6K range.
So we're landing on a pretty similar line.
Mm-hmm.
It just I don't like I just don't like Jones. I'm not a fan of that. I like how can I explain this? Not to you, but people like listening. So like I have Chris Buescher today projected for over 5x. I got Eric Jones projected for over 5x. I got the Benedetto projected for over 5x. I have Priest projected over 5x. Just because they go over 5x don't mean I have to play them. Because okay, 5x for Jones, is that like 30 points or something? Yeah, so 30 points for Jones is 4.6. I have him for 34. That's 5.3. Like, just because he hits value doesn't mean I have to play him because I don't think that 34 points gets you there. Same thing with Buescher. Like, I have these guys for value. I just don't think they get there. Like, I don't think the points they give you is enough to justify playing them.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're building, a ton of lineups.
Yeah.
It's gonna be so. Was Ty Gibbs? No, it was Cindric. Was Cindric optimal yesterday? I think so.
I couldn't tell you.
Let me look. Or winning line. Let me check out the 8 here.
I didn't even watch the end of the race. Wasn't there like a bunch of craziness at the end?
Tommy Joe Martins did a Dale Earnhardt when he blew a tire in 4, and Brad had a green white checkered, and then everybody fucking wrecked out of the final corner coming to the checkered flag. Like,
oh my god,
from like 6, and not like a pileup, but it was just like spin after spin, like people just dumping each other. Sage Karam cut the like he didn't make the corner, and so they gave him a 30-second penalty, so it pushed it back. That's why we didn't get paid out on DraftKings for like 8 hours, because they were updating stuff. But like it's a farce, man. It's a joke. So let's see. Cindric was not in the winning line. He was in the second highest line. So I bring this up is because yesterday I said that I think it's either A.J. Allmendinger and Cindric, or it's Ty Gibbs and A.J. Allmendinger, or it's Cindric and Ty Gibbs, to where I think 2 of those 3 are optimal. Today I think it's the three between Elliott, Larson, and Allmendinger, because Allmendinger's only competition is Larson and Elliott in terms of points. He is a safer way to get there, but if Larson or Chase lead, it basically kills the other one. Like between Elliott and Larson, like if one of them leads, I think it hurts the other one of making the optimal lineup. And so that kind of goes back to me playing one or the other. Like I can't play Elliott and Larson together unless I was playing AJ Allmendinger as well. Like I don't think pricing really matters in the 10K range. I think it just matters on projections.
I don't like almost $1,000 gap from Larson to Allmendinger. That's massive.
Say that again. You broke up a bit. What?
Oh, sorry. The $1,000 gap basically between Larson and Allmendinger, that's just massive. Like I can't build a line that I'm super confident in with Allmendinger and Larson in it. Unless I just can't. Like I feel much better about my lines with Elliott and Larson. And like I said, like Allmendinger is the no-brainer play today. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason I shouldn't play him, but like I said, I don't play cash games. I don't take that conservative approach. So I like pivoting to Elliott and Larson and throwing in some, Kyle Busch and maybe some Truex too. Maybe one or two with Truex, but as we said, to kick this thing off, this slate sucks.
Yeah. But I'm like arguing this for like a couple. Like I only have one line for today, so like I don't even have a lot of money on it. So we're gonna just I don't know. Oh no, my dog did something. I gotta go check on that soon. Yeah, I like Allmendinger and Larson. That's where I'm at.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like you got a bad dog in the house.
I know. That's I'm listening to see what I'm sure it's going through the mic. I don't know what he did. He's usually a good guy, so I don't know what happened over there. I probably gotta go check, or I probably gotta go end this soon because we've been in here an hour, and I gotta go check what happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for choosing us over an NFL live show. So I appreciate that. And we'll be back next week to rant about the same stuff as we always do.
Yep, absolutely. And hopefully a much better slate to play with.
Yeah. Here's hoping, unless this one gets incredibly stupid. We'll see you guys next week. See ya.
See you guys.